After watching some Unity Learn videos about post-processing, I was inspired to learn what I could do with it and how it affects my scenes. I managed to turn this into that. First, a bit of housekeeping. I'm using Unity 2019.3, have loaded Universal Render Pipeline, and I am by all means still learning. Before I could start messing around though, I needed to make a small level with decent looking models, so I headed over to the asset store and imported a free modular level package. After placing the geometry, I altered the light's intensity, range, and color to best fit an emergency or lockdown feel. I then organized my level hierarchy to make it easier to understand the layout before creating a new volume and positioning my scene to easier spot the changes. The first effect I added was the bloom effect. Bloom essentially makes the lights in the scene pop and gives it more of a presence. I spent some time altering values in the inspector to gain a better understanding of how they interact with each other. After realizing you can add a smudge effect, I jumped over to Photoshop, made a smudge mask, and applied it to the volume. I then saw motion blur and added it without second thoughts. The default values seem to work well enough, and there's not going to be much movement in this scene anyway. Next was the vignette. This adds a vignette to the camera view, which is basically an oval or circle shape that begins at the edges of the screen and ends where specified. The intensity is what controls how much appears, and smoothness is how much it's feathered out. Next, I set tone mapping up to an ACES setting, which essentially gives it a cinematic look. Finally, I added a lift gamma gain effect and messed around with these values. You can use this effect to alter the dark range, mid-range, and highlight colors. I wanted the scene to remain dark, but just give the mid-range colors a bit of a markup, making it easier to see the walls and the floor. After looking around, I decided that there needed to be some light flickering to help sell this uncertain feel. I spent far too long trying to make this work, as I was overcomplicating it to the max, but eventually figured it out. And so that's how you can turn this into that. Thanks for watching. If you wanted to learn more about post-processing, I'll be linking the videos to the Unity Learn and any other good resources I have used. I will also link the Unity documentation so that if you want to learn more about the effects, all the information is there.